As it was mentioned, this is normally a 2-hour presentation. You are missing a lot, as Doug will see. He's followed the show 4 times. There's 2 ways you can get the whole version. I'm going to be speaking at, and it's a complimentary event, the Paradise Valley Community College on Monday, March 31st from 6 until 9. It's a networking / my presentation / we have food and refreshments as well, and it's complimentary. If you would like a flyer on that to get it in your calendar, I'll have them up here, or raise your hand. Maybe I can have someone pass them out. Raise your hand if you're interested. The second way you can get me for 2 hours is I'm giving away 10 packages. This is actually my profession. I'm an author and a professional speaker and a coach. And I get paid $1,500 and flown all over for my 2-hour event. Being that I woke up in October and I drew out of my dreams can, I have over 700, 800, 900 things in here of everything I want to see, be, do, have, share, and experience. You could call it a bucket list. I have the dreams can. This is one of the products that I created. I randomly drew out, as I do every month, winter someplace warm, and on the back there were 5 choices. I closed my eyes and went eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and when I opened up my eyes, my finger was landed on Arizona. I shut down my life in Wisconsin, and I got on an airplane 14 days later, and I arrived here, not knowing hardly anyone, no contacts, no connections, and no resources for my business, certainly. I met Doug, I think on my 4th day here, at a networking event. And this, I'm giving away 10 of these packages. I can come to your home or your office and you can invite anybody that you like. And I'm using this as my way to meet people in the community and build a community and build some genuine friendships and maybe even make some business contacts. So I'll pass around a clipboard at the end if you're interested in taking advantage of that. And we're going to get started. I need to set my timer and be true to the time, so I have until roughly around 6:30. Can anyone be so kind and remind me, like at the 10-minute mark? Will anyone do that for me? Okay.
Tracy, I think we can go to like 6:30, like you say, and then about 15 minutes of questions and things that they would like to know.
Okay. So, When people first learn that one day I woke up and gave away all of my earthly possessions, the #1 question they gasp is why? Especially when they learn of the lifestyle that I walked away from. You see, I was on my 10th year living in Hawaii, working for a world-renowned plastic surgeon. And I was working in the operating room with him as his scrub nurse, and we did plastic surgery on a lot of high-profile people. And I had a roommate who was the publicist of a popular TV show. And between those 2 worlds, when they collided, my life jumped off track. My life turned into a life of service, which was the whole reason I got into the medical field in the beginning to begin with, to serve. And it moved from that into a position of ego, and into a position of how much fun I could have and who I could meet. And I began showing up late for work, and I began going out 8 days a week, as they say. And there was a plastic surgeon, his name is Gene Smith, and he knew, we were friends outside of work as well, he knew whenever I was in his office hiding out that I must be hungover again. So one day he walks in, and I'm sitting in his chair with my feet kicked up on his desk, and I'm reading this exact piece of paper. This is laminated, it's 5 pages long, and I've been carrying it with me all of these years because it still inspires me. He walks in and said to me, "What you doing there?" I said, "You mean to tell me you're going to do all these things? These are the life goals of Dr. Eugene Michael Smith." And he said, "Tracy, do you see everything that is checked off in black? Those are the things that I've achieved already, and everything in white is what I have yet to achieve. And yes, of course I intend to achieve them all." And he walked in and he put his arm on my forearm and he said, "What is your dream? I notice you're off track. You're going out a lot. You're coming in hungover. What's going on with you?" I said, you got to be kidding me. I am living my dream. I'm in my dream location of Hawaii, working my dream job, making my dream money at the time, and hanging around with my dream people that I never even conceived as possible to be in front of. Not bad for a girl from Racine, Wisconsin. This is my dream. He said, no, 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 no. You have it all wrong. Life is not made of hangovers. What do you want? What do you really, really, really want? Where do you see yourself in 2 years? In 5 years? In 7 years from now? And I did not have an answer. So that moment, Dr. Eugene Michael Smith sat with me, and for the first time in my life, at the age of 31, I composed my very own set of goals, written goals. I left work that day with my sheet and his, this original, and I went home, threw it on the kitchen table, and it sat there for months, and eventually just got lost in the shuffle. I had a meal, got ready, showered, and went out like I always did on a Thursday night. Only this night I came home a little overdone, hungover, having a marathon race between couch, bathroom, and bed, getting sick. And I remember walking over to the sink to splash cold water on my face. And I looked into the mirror, and I said, I am more than this. What do I want? What do I really, 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 really want for my life? And I had this flashback of being a little girl about 12 years old. And I had this dream of going on an African safari and playing with the monkeys in the jungle. I was wearing my little khaki boots and my shorts, had binoculars dangling around my neck, my little safari hat. And that's all that I remember of that evening. I completely passed out. And I woke up the next morning with a knowingness that today is the day I'm changing my life. Today is the day I'm taking back my power. Today is the day I'm letting God back in. And today is the day I am following my dream. And I called every friend in Hawaii, and I said, come to my home and take anything that you want for free. Pictures, clothing, CDs, books, expensive flatware, televisions, fans, beds, all of the trappings that 10 years living in a 3-bedroom home bring. I went to the Goodwill store and dropped off the remnants of the things that nobody took. And there was another man making a deposit. His name was Kim. And we walked out together, and he made the offhanded remark, I like your car. I said, oh my God, it's for sale, make me an offer. I sold my car in the Goodwill parking lot, the only money I collected from a 3-bedroom home full of things. That was the only money that went into my pocket. I bought a map, circled everywhere in the world and in America that I ever wanted to go. Bought a backpack. And on the 76th hour from making that decision, I was on an airplane into the unknown. My first stop was Racine, Wisconsin, where I'm originally from, to spend the holidays with my family and tell them of my crazy dream. And somewhere along the line, my best friend Amy and I connected with each other, and she was living in Colorado at the time and going through a transition in a broken relationship herself. And I don't recall who invited whom that day, but she joined me on the adventure. We spent the first year crisscrossing America, going to see everything we wanted to see. From the Northern Star to the Marfa Lights to the Federal Memorial Building in Oklahoma that Timothy McVeigh blew up, to Alaska, to having Cajun food in New Orleans, and everywhere and every place in between that you can think of. We didn't have the money to go. This was some of my lifestyle in Hawaii. We didn't have the money to go when we left. For an entire year, I did odd jobs. I sold my plasma. Most people don't know you can earn $250 a month selling your plasma. I dog walked, I house sat, I collected aluminum cans. I would dumpster dive for aluminum cans 5 days a week in Alaska. And I would walk down the highways with a green sack over my shoulder. And for every time someone thoughtlessly discarded a can out of their car window, I would pick it up and have such gratitude, because the penny it was worth in Alaska was worth 12 cents when I got to Vietnam. And the $1,000 I generated from aluminum cans, was worth 12,000 dong by the time I got overseas. My budget was so tight, I didn't allow myself the luxury of a 25-cent razor. My leg hair was almost 4 inches long, and little girls on the beaches of Cambodia and Vietnam braided my hair with beads. It took 4 hours and 45 minutes in the shower when I got back to America to shave myself clean. I'd make a pot of spaghetti last for a week. We ate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches 365 days in a row, because eating out simply was not an option. Out of the budget, off of the table. We bartered for food with butchers. None of these things were fast, none of these things were fun, and none of these things were easy. But this was the price I was willing to pay to follow my dream. And I ask each one of you, what price are you willing to pay to afford yours? Who was to know that 25 years later, that fantasy, that daydream I had in the bathroom of being the 12-year-old girl in the jungle with the monkeys, 25 years later that dream would come true. There I am in the Amazon jungle, and a wild monkey attacks me, jumps out of the tree and jumps onto my back, and I'm screaming for help. And some tourists came running over with some sticks. And then this monkey came out of nowhere and pulled me to safety. They call the monkey tail the fifth hand. It's as strong as a hand. And then he comes up and holds my hand and walks me through the jungle. This is a monkey! I'm not at a petting zoo!
That's awesome.
And I know you can't hear the volume, and it doesn't matter.
Okay, I'm not taking my chance. I'm an adventurer, but there's a couple times his teeth got a little close to my skin. That was fun. Being out in the jungle.
The preface of this is this is what a dream come true looks like.
This is what a dream come true looks like. Right here, right now.
Go make one of yours come true too. That's one of the samples of the videos in the book. There's 90 minutes of really super cool, one-of-a-kind video footage that you can't see anywhere else. It's actually a movie inside of a book. The very first person in the world to bring the QR codes and make a multi-sensory book. And people always want to know, Tracy, what was your favorite part about backpacking around the world? And it's this right here. It's the people. And the colors. And the beauty. It's the diversity and how we live our lives, one airplane ride away. It's witnessing the work ethic from 95-year-olds who simply cannot retire because they don't have 401ks. There is no government assistance. There is no Social Security. They have to physically work until they are unable to work anymore. To 5-year-olds who are not earning an allowance, This is their duty in their household to contribute to putting food on the table and maintaining a home. It's the cultural experience that draws me. It's the tribal experience. But my most favorite thing to do while traveling is a homestay. I would like you to meet my friend Luis. Luis was our rickshaw driver, and he took us all around through the villages and through the schools, through the cemeteries, through the orphanages, through the hospitals, and finally into his home. And this is his living room with a chicken coop and chickens running all over. And a family of 7 literally living in one room. In his kitchen, where the whole family can't even dine together because there's simply not enough space. Mold on the walls, simple cement floors, and yet Luis was one of the happiest people I had ever met. And his toilet had to be manually flushed by dumping buckets of water down. Doesn't have a toilet lid, let alone a toilet seat. But he had the privilege to say, he was one of the few people in his surrounding area that actually had a toilet inside of his home. You'd be surprised at how many people do not have a toilet inside of their home. Can you imagine what it would be like to not have a toilet or a bathroom inside of your house? And what a difference that would make on your time schedule and in your day to have to bring your family to a public rest area or a local water pump to use the bathroom. We as Americans can simply not fathom or conceive of what that experience would be like. And when I asked Luis, what is your biggest dream? If you could have any dream in the entire world come true, what would it be? I was on the edge of my seat, waiting for an American answer to come out of his mouth, such as, I want to travel the world like you, Traci. I want to go to Europe. I want to take a cruise. I want to bring my children to Disneyland. I want a Ferrari. Instead, Luis, so confirm in his conviction, and he had already been saving for it, he said, my dream, if I could have anything in the world, is to one day own my very own set of power tools. Power tools. That is as big as his mind could think. A set of power tools. Wow. And this is my friend Som from Nepal, and he was our jungle guide, and he too took us all over his hometown, through the schools and through the cemeteries, and we attempted to go to the prison and couldn't bribe our way in. And I asked Som, what is your biggest dream? If you could have any dream in the entire world come true, what would it be? And he said, I have 3. I'm a big dreamer, Traci. I have 3. My first dream is to one day own a home with my very own kitchen inside. This is an outdoor kitchen shared by other community members. And those are all the dishes they have collectively. His second dream was to help his wife get some more teeth. She had bad teeth, and he said she doesn't smile as much anymore, and he wanted her to smile. She felt people were picking on her because of her bad teeth. And his third dream was to one day own a computer inside of his house. And people always want to know, Traci, you've been to 50 countries around the world. What is your most cherished prize or your favorite possession? And it's this bracelet right here. And I tell this story a million times over. It really is the truth. This is my most prized possession. I was a guest in these people's homes in Lhasa, which is in Tibet. And they invited us in for yak butter tea. And we spent an afternoon with them, and when I left, the woman was so honored. She said, you are my first American friend. and the first American in my home. And it was my privilege and honor that you spent some time with me today. This is through a translator. We did not speak a lick of each other's language. And she took this off of her wrist and slipped it onto mine. And she said, "It is my hope that you will never forget me. I will never forget you." And every morning in the shower, I have to scrub off. You can see the green mark that it leaves on my wrist every day. Can you see that? Every morning I have to scrub it off with a washcloth. And it's usually on there by nightfall. And this probably cost her all of 30 cents. But the fact that this woman gave me one of her only possessions that I could see in her home forever moved me, deeply impacted me. And she has no idea to this day how much it's meant to me. And then I tell the story and I wear it. I haven't taken this off for 2 years. Sometimes it's the smallest, seemingly insignificant things that can make the biggest impact on our lives, in indelible footprints across our heart. The smallest things, the simplest gestures, the kindest deeds can be transforming to not only somebody's day, but to somebody's life. And people always want to know, what were the homes like around the world? This is the home of a school teacher. Her income is $7,300 per year, and that is considered an incredible living by those standards. And in Uganda, I stayed in one of these. No bed, no kitchen, no bathroom, just a simple mat on the floor. No ventilation, no windows. Again, these villagers were some of the happiest people I've ever met. And this is city living. This is actually my apartment complex. My best friend Amy and I taught English in Qingdao, China for a semester, for a summer. And it came complete with bed bugs, and we had a cat visiting us on a regular basis. And this was the inside of my classroom. All the students you're looking at spoke multiple languages. The students are between 8 and 11 years old. All of them know what their future profession is going to be. And they practice it and they study it as a part of their homework. When they go home, their household is enabled with such discipline that the children are simply not allowed to play games, watch TV, or go outside and play with their friends until their homework is done, until the chores around the house are done. And they're so disciplined and true to that. It was very refreshing. I went there thinking that I was going to be the teacher teaching them, when in truth I'm the one that left gaining all of the lessons. Even at this prestigious World Exchange College of Language, this prestigious school, they didn't even have toilet paper. It was bring your own toilet paper. On the first day I showed up to use the bathroom, and I went into stall number 1. There's no toilet paper. Number 2, number 3, none. I walked back out to the principal area, to the teacher's desk, and I mentioned, if you give me some toilet paper, I'll be happy to replenish. There's none in the stalls. And she looked at me aghast and said, "You're supposed to bring your own toilet paper. All the students have their own toilet paper in their backpack." I said, "Well, I'm sorry, I didn't get the memo. I need to use the ladies' room." She handed me 2 simple squares of toilet paper for the day. So you can bet the next day I showed up with my own roll of toilet paper. And this is the rural area of the school. And this is where the space heater idea came from. We were a guest in a woman's home. Her name was Wendy. She was one of our tour guides. And she brought us to her school in the Moon Village, the chicken feed school. And I asked why all the students were bundled up. And it's because they have no heat in the winter and no air in the summer. And so my best friend Amy and I, we just fell in love with Wendy and with these little children in her community. And I said, I want to help them. And you already saw what it took for me to get around the world, poking needles in my arm clear across America. And dog walking and house sitting and collecting aluminum cans. Those things weren't fast, they weren't fun, and they weren't easy. But this made it worth it giving the donation too. And then from here we went to Vietnam and Cambodia and Thailand. And we did the same thing everywhere we went. And we're starting to run out of money. So when we got home, some time had passed. I called Amy and I said, I have this idea. We want to keep traveling and keep going on these adventures together. Why don't we take all of our journals that we both kept while we were traveling and create a book and tell the real story on what happened. And then we can use photos, and we have 100 hours of video footage. Let's pick the coolest highlights of the highlights of the highlights and compile it into a book. And we'll use that to be able to give back instead of out of our own pockets. And that's where the Backpack Diaries was born, as a result of visiting this school. And this is my friend Roku. Can you hear this?
And his friends followed us when they got out of school. And he is very smart. He knows 2 languages. And he walks 40 minutes to school every day and then walks 40 minutes home. But when he gets to the 40th minute, the children here, all by themselves, notice there's no adult supervision. I almost just felt out the embankment myself. They pull the boat from the other side of the riverbank, and all the children get on the little barge here. And then they pull their way to the other side, and then they have to walk to their homes, which is in those foothills over there. It was very nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. And I said, when you ever come to America,
40 minutes to school, 40 minutes home with no adult supervision, pulling a barge across the water. Could you imagine doing that in America? Could you just imagine that? I met so many families and so many children, so many places who don't have the luxury to attend school. So whatever these children have to do to get there to learn and be educated, they're willing to do. Without squabble, without fight, without complaint. It's a privilege for them to go to school. In Uganda, they don't even have desks. And this is the cafeteria. It's 1 meal every day until the food runs out. And then they'll make another batch of something. And the little yellow school bus in India. Who would put their child in this cage, powered by a human bicyclist, through roadways and trafficways and highways to get to school? The power of determination to attend school, to get education, to make their lives just that much better. And the yellow school bus in Bali looks like a dump truck. I actually asked, when the driver gets in front of the school, does he press a button to dump the children out? Nobody there thought that was funny. And another bus in India. There are no safety standards, no regulations. If you can find a place to ride and hang on to, you can ride the transportation. In the bathrooms, the hole was bigger than some of the children. Not enough family time together? The whole family can go in the squatter toilets. Again, it's flush your own toilet and bring your own toilet paper. At many schools, at some hospitals, and lots of restaurants. Bring your own toilet paper. A lot of the bathrooms you have to pay to use. And then there's an entrance fee, a toilet paper fee, another fee for using the sink and the soap, and then yet another fee if you want a hand towel. In a hospital in Uganda, this was an emergency room. They don't even have a pillow or sheets on the bed. in the pharmacy. We watch them giving malaria injections, using the same needle in other people's arms, and then just dropping it into a garbage can, not even a sharps container, when they were finished. The hospital bathroom was co-ed, shared by patients and staff alike. There was no boys' bathroom and girls' bathroom and staff bathroom and patient bathroom. It was one bathroom. Incredible video footage in that book of the inside of the hospital. We got to go into different patients' rooms with the video camera. Incredible video footage. And here's the rescue squad, powered by cattle. In the 21st century, right now today, one airplane ride away over a pond of water. It seems inconceivable that this could be. We have so much here to be grateful for and to be thankful for. And yet you can walk down any street or any hallway in any building and hear people complaining about the smallest, insignificant things in life. And people always want to know, Tracy, what did you eat when you went backpacking around the world? If you have a sensitive stomach, close your eyes for a few slides. Crab on a stick for 10 cents. Duck on a stick for a quarter. Tarantulas, different bugs, sea slugs, everything, grasshoppers, they're all sold by the kilo, by the weight. You put them in a plastic bag and you take them home. I have jars of dead tarantulas that I purchased just on my last trip. But the airline confiscated one, so I didn't want to take the chance, and I have 2 left. But I brought them home as souvenirs. Rats on a stick. Cricket tacos. Who would eat one of these? Nobody? You wouldn't eat a cricket taco? Any popsicle lovers? Between my best friend Amy and I, we sampled every one of these. From pea flavor to seaweed flavor to fried bread popsicle with bread, carrot, and milk taste. And my favorite was the popsicle on the end. Has anyone ever had a creamsicle with the ice cream inside? Well, I was expecting it to taste like a little bit limey or a little banana pudding-y. But inside, it was a variety of like a mashed potato, bean, and pea vegetable context. And it was terrible. One bite was enough and we threw the rest away. Another favorite thing to see or experience or do while backpacking around the world is catching people taking naps in the strangest of places. And 1 minute, I'm asking her for some carrots and some tomatoes. And the next minute, she shoves me away, parts her vegetables, and lays down to take a nap in mid-sentence. And didn't make the sale. I had to go to another booth. And so I ask each one of you, what is your dream? It's time. And we're going to do an exercise right now. So everyone has pen and paper. Does anyone not have a pen and paper? You have to move fast. Thank you. A couple of facts. McDonald's is so popular. One of my favorite things is inside of the Walmart store, and there's just not any time for me to go through those slides, but I have incredible video footage. The book alone is worth the Walmart footage. I almost got kicked out of 2 Walmart stores for following people around with the video camera. So many of the stores are connected with the McDonald's. McDonald's are so popular in Asia, this is China in particular, they're open 24/7. They're 2 stories high. They're every 2 to 3 blocks, but they have longer, bigger blocks than we do in America. They have $2 happy hour specials at McDonald's. So we got a filet of fish, a french fry, a soda, and a hot fudge sundae for $2 US. They played music. They have a door greeter like Walmart at McDonald's. They had busboys, waitresses, and bicycle delivery. I had a great shot of that. They serve hot dogs. It's called a McDog and a Coke for $1.75. There are no supersized meals. It's actually against the law to supersize. And instead of apple and cherry pie, for dessert, they instead have sweet potato and seaweed pie. How fun. And it tasted very similar to our McDonald's here. The worst McDonald's we had was in Bali, which tasted absolutely nothing like the McDonald's that we know. No relation. Do the hokey pokey and turn yourself around. Okay, good. A little bit higher. Okay, one more time. A little bit higher. Why did you do that the first time? I said raise your hand as high as you can raise it. So I would like for you to give yourself a gift. And that extra little effort, that 2 millimeters that you just did, if you put that same amount of effort and energy into the next portion we're going to do, you can really make some movement, okay? Just do a little bit more out of your comfort zone. This is about stretching and growing and going after something new. So let's play big and let's play bold. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, for the next minute on a timer, 2 things. You cannot stop writing and you cannot lift your pen off to think. You have to keep writing. Don't worry about any order, any rhyme, or any reason. Just continue to write. If you had 1 year left to live from today, 1 year left to live, what do you want to be? What do you want to see? What do you want to do? When I say go, start writing. Pour it out. You have 1 year to live. What do you want to see? What do you want to be? What do you want to do? On your mark, get set, go. Time. Okay, I would like for you to look over your list. And circle the one thing that's the most important to you to achieve if you had just 1 year to live. What's the most important thing you have left to do, left to see, left to have, left to experience? Circle one. One that you want to focus on for the rest of this year. Everyone have one? Okay, for the next 1 minute on a timer, I would like for you now to write, when I say go, write down everything you can think of that you need to do to achieve that goal. What do you need to connect with? What resources do you need? What mentors do you need to attract into your life? What contacts can help you? What connections, what resource, what education do you need to achieve that goal? What do you need to learn? Every step and everything you can think of that you need to do to get from point A to point B and achieve that goal. On your mark, get set, go. Time. Look over your list and circle the number one step that you can achieve in the next 24 hours. It's got to be measurable and it's got to be specific. For example, if you want to go back to school, what you can do in 24 hours is you can make an appointment with a career counselor and you can pick up a catalog. That is identifiable and that's achievable. If you want a new car, you can go test drive a new car and set up a savings account in 24 hours. So are we clear what to do? You have to pick one that you can achieve and scratch off as step number one in the next 24 hours. Go ahead and circle it. Circle the one you're going to commit to achieving in the next 24 hours. And if you agree to take my 24-hour challenge, I would like for you to write $20 somewhere near the goal that you circled, the step that you circled, $20. Write the name of your favorite charity. And if you're committing, sign your name. So if you do not achieve this goal by 6:30 tomorrow evening, you are agreeing to give $20 to your favorite charity. Is that fair? This is what accountability looks like. There are no dream police that are going to peer through your windows and call you out on it. This is the honor system. But the reason why most people don't have what they want in their life is because they're not accountable to it. They have no one to hold them accountable and no one to answer to. We have a hard job nowadays following through on our commitments and doing what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it. We can't even get out of the bed when the alarm clock goes off in the morning. This is step one of being accountable to what you said you want. And only you know what you'll do with it in the next 24 hours, and only you know if you'll actually donate the $20 if you don't do it. But I promise you this, everything that you wrote on that piece of paper is learnable. Every step you put on your paper is doable. Once you give yourself permission that you're worth it, and don't quit on yourself. If every day you do just one step, you will eventually get there if you don't quit. And if you believe. The hardest part in achieving a goal is deciding what it is that you want, and then making the commitment to follow through. There's only two reasons people don't have what they want in their life. They haven't decided, and they haven't given themselves permission that they're worth it to go for it and stay true in their commitment. That's it. Okay, two more things. What I'm about to give you, if you get nothing more out of coming today, this is the most valuable gift that I can give you, what we're going to do right now. And it's connecting with your why on the deepest, deepest level. When you know your why, and you keep your eye on the why, the what doesn't matter, and the how always shows up. What is your why? Why do you want the goal you wrote on that paper if you have a year left to live? What would it mean for you if you actually achieved it this year? It's already March. We're already 3 months into a new year. We're almost at a quarter of the year being done. And what have you done with the goals that you set last year or your New Year's resolutions? What have you done? You still have time to do everything you have on your paper. But get off your butt and commit to it. And when you know why you want it, that is your rocket fuel to get you there. So I want you to get in touch, peel the layers back like you're peeling an onion, and get to the why that makes you cry. This is so important. We're actually going to take 4 minutes to do this exercise. And if you get nothing more from coming here today, if you do this on every goal that you set, identifying the why you want it, you will have the rocket fuel to carry you through on any goal that you ever set. On your mark, get set, go. Why do you want it, and what would it mean for you if you achieved it? Sometimes, my friend, the lights just go out in our lives. Doesn't matter if you're working on the most important thing of your life. Sometimes the lights just go out in life when we least expect it. That year that you have left to live is promised to no one. For all of us, unexpectedly, when you least expect it, the lights are just going to go out. And we're gone. And we're dead. And what did we do, and what did we leave behind? What will people say about you? Now let's try this again. Time is ticking, my friends. The clock is ticking. What do you want, and why do you want it on the deepest level? What would it mean to you if you actually achieved it? If you get the gift of living another year. Time. That is your rocket fuel. There are 2 habits that we have in life. The habits of doing and the habits of not doing. And everything going on in your life right now is a result of a choice that you made or a choice that you didn't make. A habit that you have or a habit that you don't. From the clothes that you wear, to the car that you drive, to the home that you live in, to the size of your bank account, to the fact that the place you went to college, or the fact that you didn't because you thought you knew it all. The fact that you got pregnant early because you didn't use safe sex or protected sex. To how your relationships are, the way you're living with your spouse or your significant other. If you're putting the effort in and putting in the sweat equity to keep the relationship alive, or if you're living like roommates because it doesn't hurt bad enough to leave. Everything going on in our lives is because of something we are doing or not doing, or simply allowing because we've given up because it's too much work, to put the effort in to get happy again. We're just coasting on by. And the lights are going to go out because the clock is ticking. And where are you? You want to die this way. So for the next minute, I would like for you to write every fear, every obstacle, and every excuse that you have in your life that is holding you back until now from achieving what you want in your life. On your mark, get set, go. Your fears, your obstacles, or your excuses. Time. Go ahead and circle your number one fear, obstacle, or excuse. How many of you are ready to let that go? Raise your hand if you're ready to let that go. It's okay, you don't have to play. We are who we are. And for those of you who aren't ready yet, it's okay, you'll arrive when you're ready to arrive. But for those of you who aren't, you can see me after I have an official certificate giving you permission to stay stuck for the rest of your life. It's in color and totally frameable. So feel free to pick one up. For those of you who are ready to let it go, with all of your intensity and all of your might, ball it up and throw it at me. Throw it away. The first person to hit me right here while staying in your seat will win a little prize. Ready? Whoever's ready to let it go, tear it up. You can use your symbol-ary blank sheet of paper. You got two. And with all of your might and all of your anger and all of your intensity, throw it away. Throw it away. The first person that hit me here is a prize. Staying in your seat.
Hi, Taurus.
Throw it away. 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 Nobody hit me this time.
We like you too much.
For most of you, you can throw it. Throw it away. For most of you, what you wrote on that paper is as simple as one word. One word. Where else in your life is that showing up? Because I promise you, it's not just for this class about this goal. Where else can you think of, and I really want you to think, is this showing up? And strangulating the life out of you, and blocking you, and holding you back, and confining you from what you want. What you wrote on that paper, it has no power over you. The only power it has is the power that you allow it to give you. And when you let that go, you really could mentally let that go. Because we have fear and we have faith. And neither are real. What we have fear about hasn't happened yet. And what we have faith about hasn't happened yet either. They're not real. But whatever one we spend the most amount of time in our day focusing on, fear or faith, will show up and melt into our lives. So every time you catch yourself, now that you're conscious and now that you know what it is, every time you catch yourself doing that word, or playing the tape in your brain that I can't afford it, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't have the resources, I don't have the support, whatever it was for you, every time you notice it and say, oh yeah, you're taking back a little piece of your power. One thought and one recognition at a time. This is about re-empowering yourself just by being a little bit more mindful in how you think. People say to me all the time, Traci, you're losing your marbles. And it's true, I am losing my marbles. But the truth of the matter is each one of you are losing your marbles too. I would like for you to write down the number 80 and subtract your age from it and circle your number. Some of you will see you have more years left behind you than you have left ahead of you. You see, the CDC, the Center of Disease Control, says the average lifespan of a male is 76 years old, and the average lifespan of a female is 81. Americans on an overall average is 78.77 years. So if we're lucky enough to live to be to the ripe old age of 80, assuming we're all living happy and healthy lives, look at your number and where are you? Every year on my birthday, March 5th, which just passed, I have a replica of this jar in my office in Racine, Wisconsin. And during my meanderings of my work on my computer, I look up at it, and I look at it a lot, at least daily, at least I look at it. But every March 5th for sure, I pull the jar down, and I pull out a marble. And I ponder this for many, many, many minutes. And I reflect on the last year, on all the people I've connected with, and all the contacts and connections and business I've done, and all the people I've met, and all the celebrations, and all the laughter, and all the joy, and all the great times. And of course, I reflect on all the things I wish I could do differently or have changed, made a better decision about. And then I walk over to the garbage can and I throw it away. That is another year lost that I can never get back, and neither can you. And when you put life into a perspective like this, I have 34 birthdays left as of last Wednesday. 34 more Christmases that I'll see, or anniversaries that I'll celebrate with family or friends. And it doesn't look like that many. And it reminds me that the clock is ticking, and what do I have left to do, and what do I have on my paper to do something significant that will outlive me. So when the lights go out, I know my life will have mattered, and my time here will have meant something, and I will have touched people through books and speaking and traveling. And what is the story for you? I end you and leave you today asking you to ponder, how many marbles do you have left, and what are you willing to do with your time? I hope this has served. It's my privilege and honor to be here today. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you, Traci.
And I don't have enough books for everyone. This is $20. You get a book and a wristband. I promise you the Walmart videos alone are worth it, or inside of the hospital. I'm giving two things away. As I mentioned earlier, there are two ways to see the full 2-hour presentation. You can host your own event at your home or your business. This is $1,500. I get paid for this 2-hour event. And people fly me all over the nation and put me up at nice hotels to do it. I'm giving it 10 packages away as a gift to meet people in your lovely state of Arizona. I'm looking for a reason to stay. I will come to your home or your business. You can collaborate with a friend and co-host it. Provide some wine or some appetizers and some snacks, and the event is yours. You can sign up here, or you can see me on March 31st at the Paradise Valley Community College. And the other gift I'm giving away is a 30-minute goal strategy session to help you create an action plan for what we did today. No obligation. This is normally a $100 gift. And I will pass the clipboard around if anyone would like to take advantage of this and see if I can help you. It's 30 minutes by phone. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions or any comments?
When did you start this journey? How many years ago?
2001, while I was living in Hawaii. I left Hawaii to go backpacking around the world. I was gone for 2 years, fell ill in Egypt. You have to read the book to find out what happened. Was emergency flighted back to my family. I was ill for almost 7 months, and then started writing the books, and I decided I didn't want to go back to the medical field after a 20-year career. And from there, my speaking and writing career was born. I've been, my best friend Amy and I take one trip a year. We take turns picking. Sometimes we draw it out of the dreams can. And we're usually gone for the months of October, November, November, December. And we randomly just pick a spot to go. Any other questions?
Was it hard to come back from those experiences to America and try to make the positive impact with the differences that you were seeing? Like, how did you kind of decompress from what you saw?
Great ending to the book. That is how the book ends. It was extremely difficult because I did not have closure. I was emergency flighted out of Egypt from what happened. Hey, the whole story's right here. And I went through reverse culture shock when I got back. And I couldn't get it together for months. The noises and the people flipping each other off because I stayed 3 seconds extra at a stop and go light. The walking into a grocery store and having 25 brands of cereal, 50 brands of cereal to choose from. It was those small little things that I had never paid attention to before and completely forgot about until I was put in the moment. So it was a long transition for me to get congruent and to feel right again. And the listening to gossip, walking into a room where people are gossiping about people that they call friend and people who they say that they like, and hearing complaints and negativity everywhere I go, the gas station, the grocery store, my parents' home. I'm just hit with negativity everywhere, and I just got done living with no electricity and no running water. I've been 5 days with no food, 7 days with no shower. And I come home, and I stand in my shower for 45 minutes, 4 razors shaving my legs, and I'm crying. I'm crying in the shower. I have never been so grateful to have clean water that I can get in my mouth without getting sick. I'm turning on the lights. What a concept. Anytime we want, we can turn the lights on and they come on with no kerosene lamps. In the first bite of food that I had after 5 days with no food, I almost dropped to my knees with gratitude, and I have a whole different appreciation for everything that I put in my mouth. I'm filled with such gratitude. Everything about me changed in some way, and something about me changed in every way on this journey around the world. It was truly, I feel, reborn as a result of this backpacking experience.
What is your relationship with your material possessions now that you have in your life?
When I lived in Hawaii, I was a person who wouldn't wear anything without a fancy label. And I was into name throwing, and I lived very different than I do now. The only things I collect now are stamps on my passport and patches on my backpack, the backpack that goes around the world with me. I truly, literally, I'm living out of a backpack right now in Arizona. I've been here since October. nothing matters to me. I can walk away from my home, I can walk away from my life, I can walk away from my bank account, and I still know that I will survive, I will make it, I will thrive, and I will be okay. We live in the greatest country in the world with the most technology and the best resources, and we're the biggest abusers of antidepressants on planet Earth. With all countries combined, what really do we have to be depressed about? We live in such a country of choice and an opportunity that I know if I have nothing, I can still rebuild it. I can still earn it all back. Most people living in other countries don't even have the opportunity to even build something or create something one time, let alone what we have to be able to redo it as many times as we choose. I think one more question. I think we're done.
Okay, they're all in there with you, so this is their opportunity.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Do you put a marble back in your pot every time you touch a soul?
No.
You should.
Thank you. Who else? We finished? Will someone share with me any value that you received today? What is one gold nugget that you will take away or implement or ponder on?
I like how direct you were with us. You know, some people talk about it and it's very vague, but you actually had us, you zeroed in on it to have us do something tangible in the next 24 hours and be accountable for it. I really love that. That is fantastic.
Thank you. Pearls of wisdom you'd like to share? Yes.
I've been wanting to do this and I've been procrastinating on it. And the New Year's was going to be, I was going to do a life plan. And you motivated me to do that without an excuse. I mean, I'm too busy. It's my life, but it's going from the end and working my way back.
Good for you.
So,
Love for you to follow up with me when you get that done. Would you be so kind and pass this around if anyone wants to host one or anyone else? One more share?
I like the fact that you gave us a timeline to do our goal, and then also giving up our fears.
Okay. Thank you. I hope this has served. Namaste. I will take 2 books. It's $20. I take check, credit card, or cash.
Save one for me after this.
Okay.
We're going to do a minute.
Yield. After all, we are spirit. We must use the gifts of spirit. So, vision yourself now walking. And you see little signs. Continue breathing. You only know what those signs say. Their messages to you tonight. Everyone. Again, let that spirit just feel you, every chakra within. Raise your vibration. Raise your vibration. Are the signs still there? as you walk back now, choose one of those signs to bring with you. One of those faith-filled desires, your intention. Now settle with it right in front of you. Place your hands on your heart in the center of your chest. Just feel the presence of the I am. For where there is I am in love, there is no fear. Our soul is infinite. Our soul has no limits. So breathe in now. Ooh, that which you hold in your hand and right into your heart chakra. That intention where it'll settle into that I know that I know. Ooh. Feel the vibration coming in through your crown chakra all the way through to your root chakra. Oh my. Ooh. To say after me, I am that I am. I am that I am. Again. I am that I am. Again. I am that I am. Know thyself first. All things can be added unto you. Now rub your hands together and know that that sign is there. And it is now intention within thy heart. Open your eyes. Thank you for coming tonight. Please come down. Please come to visit us again. April 13th is the next spiritual awakening, and it's going to be on the 3 times of love. The human love, the spiritual love, and the divine love. And what it means to us as human beings. Thank you, and come up and talk with Traci, and if you could just return your seat the way it was when you arrived.